Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another squad builder where today we've got the best 100k Bundesliga squad. So as always, if you want to see more, let's see if we can smash 100 likes. We're also going to be starting our team of the season player reviews when team of the season comes out, so let me know if you're excited for that. But let's go into the team today with the goalkeeper. That is Ralph Farman. Farman's actually a pretty decent goalkeeper, you know. I always like to go for keepers that are relatively tall, so when long shots come in, they're normally quite good, and Farman's been quite a reliable Bundesliga keeper for me this year, so I'm going to stick with him in goal. Right back, we're going to stick with the guy we used last time we did a Bundesliga squad, and that is Piszczek. For me, pretty much the only person you can go for at right back. Really reliable right back. I really enjoy using Piszczek. He's always solid, always reliable, not the fastest, but just generally a good, well-positioned fullback. Socrates and Naldo are the two centre-backs. Naldo is one of my favourite centre-backs, you know, I really like him. Never really puts a foot wrong whenever I've used him, and Socrates pretty much the same. His inform cards are insane, so if you can afford to upgrade to his inform cards, definitely do. At left back, we've got Rodriguez. Not my first choice left back for Bundesliga. I don't really like any of the Bundesliga left backs, to be fair. You know, I'm not even that keen on Alaba anymore. But Rodriguez should do a pretty good job for us. You know, we've used him before, and he's never steered us too far wrong. Our midfielders are Naby Keita and Renato Sanchez are our two central midfielders. As I go and find them, I obviously know it's Renato Sanchez, but they are two midfielders. Sanchez, really good player, you know, somebody that gets used all the time, pretty popular player to use. I decided to go for Naby Keita because for me, the Bundesliga midfield is quite poor, so I decided to spend a little bit more and go for Keita. This team ended up being about 105k because I had to go for Keita. The Bundesliga midfield is really quite poor, so I wanted to get that Keita in there, get another midfielder I was happy with, and Draxler is the final midfielder. For me, these are the only three midfielders. The only thing I'd change was I'd get Draxler out and put Vidal in if I could put anyone in, but the midfield in Bundesliga is pretty poor. But Draxler is a decent choice. Up at right wing, we've got the one and only Ousmane Dembele, one of the best right wingers in the game, one of the best wingers in the game, one of the best players in the game. I love Dembele, and I really hope he gets the team of the season card because it will be one of the first cards I buy. I love using Dembele. Every time I use him, he's an absolute monster. At left mid, we've got Douglas Costa. I prefer to have Royce in here if I could have anyone, but because of the restrictions of the budget, we have to go for Douglas Costa. But that's not a bad choice. He's still a pretty good player. We've used him plenty of times before, so we know he's a decent player. And then the striker is inform Javier Hernandez. Seems to be pretty much a stable guy that we use in all of our squad builders. Whenever we go Bundesliga, Hernandez is always pretty much the striker we go for because you know, can't really afford Aubameyang or Lewandowski if I want to go for this team. So Hernandez is the player, but he's a very, very good striker. We've used him before. But let's go into the game. So guys, as we go into the gameplay, you can see some of the teams we do come up against on our travels in our games. And it was quite a frustrating squad builder, to be fair. To begin with, I really struggled with the team. The first couple of games, certainly the first two games, I struggled really hard with the team. It was hard to get used to. You know, there was a bit of a lack in strength and a lack in height in the team. They were one of the big problems that I found with the team. But I did get used to it in the end, and in the last three games, we really did start to stomp some people. But you know, to begin with, it was quite difficult to get used to the team. That first guy actually beat me. He was a very good player. He was a lot better than me, and definitely deserved the win. But you know, even if I would have figured out how well the team would play, he still would have beaten me. But it was a decent team. We got used to it in the end, and the team played well. You can see the best player was Ousmane Dembele, and you'll see some clips. I believe it's in the last game. That was probably the best individual performance I've ever had on one player in a game. I've never ever used a player, not even a team of the Ronaldo, that has played that well in one game in such a short space of time. He was absolutely phenomenal. Naby Keita was very good as well. You know, that's why I wanted to get him. Money well spent in the end. He was the second best player in the team. He really did perform and did a great job in the midfield. And Hernandez, you can see, was the third best player. You know, Hernandez was also reliable finisher. You know, not as good as I've used him before, but he was still, you know, good positions like that, reliable. Needed to get me a goal to get me back in the game, and he did that. And he was a pretty good player as well. The defense really was quite solid as well. Naldo and Socrates played really well, and so did Piszczek. Rodriguez, as I thought, wasn't the best choice at left back. I wasn't keen on him. being slow, and the difference between him and Piszczek's got medium work rates, he's got high mediums, and they're both quite slow, but because Piszczek's work rates are better, he was much easier to get hold of. And that guy, I was shushing him because he was a bit of an idiot, so decided to give him the old shush, and then he quit. So that really was good for me, made me feel good. And this was the game where Dembele just absolutely destroyed. You know, he just, look at this goal here, look at the dribbling here. How does he manage to dribble through those two guys there to score that goal? But then Keita with a great interception, Hernandez laying it off to Draxler playing it into Dembele, but he does not go on score. He goes to try and pass it off to Hernandez gets fouled, but look at this from Dembele, the patience just to wait for the gap to open up, to turn and smash it with his 5-star weak foot and score an absolute banger. And then again we score from a nice counter attack here. And no, actually no, we don't. That was the wrong clip. This is the right clip, and this is the one we scored from. But Douglas Costa gets played in behind. He goes for the shot. No, he doesn't. He lays it off to Dembele to get his hat-trick. That's going to be it for the gameplay, guys. Let's go into the live section of the video. So guys, there you have the squad, and you can tell I was a little bit high on Dembele in that gameplay. He was just so good. You know, I want to emphasize the players that are good. That's why I have the little bar at the side to try and emphasize the best players, so you know which ones you must pick if you are going to build this squad. And Dembele, I've never ever used to play. For me, he's in that category. You know, I go on about some players like Carrasco, like Dybala. He's right up there in that category of those players that I seem to use them and they seem to be amazing. They don't seem to be popular with other people, but whenever I use them, they are absolutely amazing. And Dembele was one of them. So you know, he's just unbelievable. I hope he gets Team of the Season card so then I can buy it and just slaughter people, because you know, that'll be really fun. But that's it today, guys. Squad builder, guys. So if you do enjoy, make sure you do like, make sure you do subscribe as well if you are new to the channel. That's all today, guys. Have an awesome day. I'm out.